Hey gang, I am here to share with you my salty locks recipe, which is super easy to make and it's the most effective hair serum I've ever used in my hair. So it just takes rosemary, fresh rosemary, and grapeseed oil. I've chosen grapeseed oil over other oils because it's actually quite fine. It's not super expensive. So it means it allows the oil to penetrate the hair follicle and nourish it. All we do is get the rosemary, get an old jar, love a good jar, huge jar fan, and pop the rosemary into the jar. So once you've filled your jar with rosemary, it smells absolutely amazing when you get it fresh, but you can also use it dried. Open up your grapeseed oil, cover the rosemary, and then from here you get a saucepan full of water. So I've filled this up with water and we're just making a bain-marie. You see that in there? The rosemary into the water, like so. And we're going to pop that on the stove until the water starts boiling around the oil. Then we're going to turn it off and let this all sit and cool. And it's cooled down in the pan. So now you're ready to store it overnight, 8 to 12 hours, somewhere in the kitchen. You can see it's already starting to give it a little bit of colour. You're going to get a new jar, right? I like to use a funnel because it just saves with a bit of spillage, and a sieve, or you can do it through some cheesecloth, that'd be awesome as well, but I don't have any. And you're going to strain those rosemary leaves out, allowing that infused oil to go down into the new jar. And you can see that beautiful colour. Gorgeous! Give those rosemary leaves a bit of a squeeze to get all that extra oil out. You can see it pumping through the funnel every time I give it a good squeeze. Now, if you're roasting potatoes or sweet potatoes or roasting anything really, throw this rosemary on board and it's so crunchy and yummy, so you can cook with it, or yeah, you could throw it in the compost or give it to the worms. I'm sure they'd love it too. So once you've squished all that good oil out of your first batch, first round should look like this, quite a nice colour. Repeat the process. So stuff it with some new leaves again, heat it up in the bain-marie until the water's boiling, let it cool down for 8 to 12 hours and strain the leaves out. And I'll show you the next step. So now I have infused the rosemary leaves 3 times over into the grapeseed oil, and you can see that it's darker, but also it's lost its transparency. You can't see through the oil anymore. All the goodness of the rosemary leaves have gone in there, making this incredibly potent, beautiful hair serum. So you can use this hair serum as like a couple of hour mask, where you just grab a little bit, massage it through your scalp, through all the ends, wrap the hair up, leave it in for a few hours and wash it out, and that'll be really restorative for any damaged dry hair. Or if you really enjoy going in the pool and the ocean and you've tried everything like me, from Moroccan oil, coconut oil, Pantene, all sorts of stuff in my hair to try and stop it from being damaged in the ocean, this is the best stuff. And then to give it that little bit of extra kick, so that when you're in the wind and your hair's being flicked around and you've got salt all through it and you're sun-kissed and it's just like the perfect recipe for snapping hair, then add a little bit of beeswax. That's what I often do, so about a tablespoon if you have access to a friendly neighborhood beekeeper or you have your own bees, I prefer to get my beeswax local. Then I know where it's come from, I know it's sustainably sourced, and that the bees haven't had a hard time or a hard life. Plus, a lot of the beeswax that's on the market, if you're ordering it online, you don't know how the bees are treated, and also they could be using plastic and other things as honeycomb molds. So it's to start the bee off, you get these little honeycomb molds, and if it's not made of beeswax, then that plastic can be leaching into the product, and the bees are also fed on sugar, so it's not necessarily high quality. But if you know that you can get a good, natural, sustainably sourced piece of wax, then do that, that's awesome. Otherwise, some cacao. Just get some cacao buttons, about a tablespoon of those. I've got 5 buttons here. It really doesn't matter how many you put in, because the more you put in, it will start turning into like a little gelatinous, more of a thick butter mixture. The less, it will stay more of a syrup, but that doesn't matter too much. The point of having something waxy in there for your hair is that it's going to coat the hair follicles and then allow them to slide over each other when the wind's whipping you and when the ocean's whipping your hair, and it's just the best stuff. I give this formula away for Christmas presents and birthday presents, and I've shared it with so many of my friends, and the ones who have taken it up and started using it just swear by it. So yeah, it's awesome. Alrighty, so we have melted the beeswax or your cacao butter into the serum, and when it heats, it just distributes nicely. Give it a little bit of a stir and let it cool down, and you're going to get something like this. It might be thicker depending on if you put more beeswax or cacao butter, or thinner, but either way, the essence of it is still the same. It's an amazing hair serum. This one's quite thick actually, but delicious. So I just use it will last you so long. I use about this much, right? And then rub it in my hands, put it through the tips of my hair especially, before I go into the water. So you can do this before you go surfing, diving, swimming in a pool. It's a really natural, gentle alternative for your hair, for your skin, and you made it yourself, which is great and empowering, and your hair is going to thank you for it. I was able to still grow my hair throughout a whole whale shark season using this, and anyone, oh, I've got some hair there for you. I'm using more now because my hair is actually quite dry, but really just a pea-size dollop is all you need, and then depending on where your hair's at, you might want to put more through the ends till you can feel it. I've been for a surf, so you can see the surf sink on my face. SunButter, naturally. And I didn't put anything in my hair, so it's quite tasseled, but it's just an amazing safeguard for your hair. And yeah, I was able to still grow my hair throughout a whole whale shark season, and that is just the most punishment you're ever going to give your hair and skin. And it's where we came up with our SunButter recipe, our original SunButter surf sinks and sunscreen recipe as well, because we wanted natural alternatives whilst we're getting punished out there on the boats for 8 hours plus a day, in and out of the water and just whipped by the sea breeze. So there you go, that's how you pop in your hair. Boof, you're ready, you smell so good. And then boof, jump in the ocean, paddle out, do your dive, and know that your hair's been really protected. This will last you so long. Gift it on. Get your old SunButter tins, store it in there. Fantastic. Another way to upcycle and spread the butter further. So I hope you liked that, and I hope you love this mermaid hair serum. It's an absolute hit, super easy to make. It does take a couple of days just for the infusion process, but yeah, I mean, your hair's gonna love you for it.